Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Corona Chase is a light educational board game, and it's intended to teach you about social distancing. And I think it does that in some respects. The game is very easy to teach. You're going to move a person up on a turn, and you're going to put somebody out. And there's some strategy to getting the Corona pieces into the hot zones. You can stop other people. So a little bit of strategy into it, but this is very mass market, very simple game for families to teach social distancing. Now, my rule set didn't have a whole lot of the social distancing rules. Mine was a little bit on the more simpler side, but if you go to the website, there are additional rules that keep social distancing in. Each little emoji will act a little bit differently. And you can use it based on your child's age to teach about social distancing and in general. So even when Corona is out of vogue and maybe not around anymore, it still holds true about different vaccinations and different diseases and how you can socially distance and be apart from people and the mask help and stuff like that. So very educational in that respect. It's purely an educational game, something you would play with children. You're not going to see a bunch of adults sitting around playing this, but for kids, they liked it all right, and I think they had a good time with it, and you were able to have conversations with your kids as you're going around. As a homeschooling parent, I think it's very important to have educational games that can teach as you're going through. And this one keeps it very simple. So even if you're not into board games, your kids will be able to pick this up and play it very easily. And that's Corona Challenge, or Corona Chase, and it'll be a keeper for us. Here's Corona Chase, a social distancing education game. So this will definitely fall underneath the education little trappings that we have here. You're going to have a bunch of these tiles that will be in here. They all have different stuff. Like there's a police, a guy with a mask on, a guy with a mask but not covering his mouth. You got an infected person. So all these different little guys that will do something a little bit different. Inside the box, you're going to get a rule book, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. And the only other component in here is going to be the board. And when you open up the board, it's going to be very colorful, very attractive to people. And you're going to have 4 tracks on it, basically. You're going to start here and go through here. There'll be some rules about what you're going through and etc. But you see the little emojis laying around here. They're pretty cute. Very colorful. The components are fine. I think they're very good quality, especially for an educational game. So here's the rule book. One thing you should note is this is a 3- and 4-player game only. So you're going to need a few people to play. You're going to have the setup over here. No picture really, but I'm not sure you'll need it. Gameplay, what you do on a turn, some strategy that's on here, and then getting started. You have a list of what the emoji tokens are, and then what the spaces on the board. But the back is going to be really the rules. I was a little confused here about the beware and what that exactly meant, but it's not a very hard game to kind of learn and be set up and playing. With the rules that are printed here, we were able to read this probably less than 5 minutes. We were up and going without any problems. Play Corona Chase is pretty simple. You're going to put all of the little tiles face down, and on your first turn, you're going to take one of these and put it on your starting marker. So that's what everybody would do. Take one of these and you put it on your starting marker. Now, from here on out, you can move this up 1 space on your turn. They can all move up. That's probably what you'll do when you first start. So that's a pretty good setup. Just grab a tile and move it up 1 spot, because everybody has to do it on the first turn. Then what you can do is you can either move one of these up another space, or you can add somebody to the location. What you're trying to do is get 5 people all the way to the finish line. If you're the first person to get 5 people, you'll win the game. Now, if you put more than 5 people out, then you have to get all of them. So there's really no purpose to do more than 5. Each turn, you'll take a turn, and you'll simply just move somebody up. Now, where the game is going to get interesting is going to be here in what's called the hot spot. If you get a policeman in the hot spot, that is going to stop a few things from occurring. Once the police officer's in the hot spot, your Corona token cannot go into the outer circle, which is outer circle, middle circle, and then the hot zone. So at this point, he would stop. So if somebody has a Corona emoji, he can't move into the outer circle as long as that police officer is there. So let me give you an example where that would help. So let's say I put a police officer there, and I know this guy is about to move up his Corona into the outer circle. This would prevent that from happening. So now all he can do is move this person or add somebody else. And what I'm trying to do is get him stuck with more than 5. So he would have to keep putting somebody out there until I moved this police officer. Now, in the future, if I move this guy off and he starts moving, then he could move up. And if he gets the corona into the hot zone, any exposed token cannot move into the outer circle. So if somebody had one of these exposed ones, these red ones, they could not move into the outer circle any longer either. So he can stop that from moving. So it's kind of a strategic thing that you're hoping to accomplish by putting him in there. Now, if we're going back to the example where we had the cop here, let's say he had a cop there. Now the exposed can move into the outer circle, but he cannot move into the middle circle. So he's going to prevent that exposed from moving into there. And if you had an unmasked one, it couldn't move into the outer circle with the police officer there. So here, the police officer is going to prevent a lot of people. So getting him out, keeping him in a hot zone is a very good strategic move. Otherwise, what you're going to be doing is just moving these guys down, trying to get 5 people past the finish line before anybody else. Now, like say, if you had the police guy here and he didn't have any moves and he kept having to add people, that's quite a bummer. At this point, he couldn't move anybody, anything else. This person would just lose a turn. But instead of having 5 people on the board, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, he's got 6 now. He would have to get all of those for the finish line because you have to be cleared out. And that's how you play Corona Chase. Who should buy this game? Anybody wanting to teach their kids about social distancing and maybe even the coronavirus in general. It's a really cool way of having the emojis that kind of move around and they interact with each other a little bit differently. And this is strictly an educational game. It's intended to be fun while teaching your children about this important practice. So if you're looking for something you want to teach your kids, maybe have something, a visual aid for homeschooling parents, they'll probably like something like this to add into their agenda and be able to teach these concepts to them, then this would be a keeper for you.